Welcome to the show. We talk about whatever we want, whenever we want, and nobody cares.
I'm Joshua, and this is my brother and co-host Eli, and this is Something. Welcome back to This Is Something, and you know, something I have to do this week. I actually was supposed to do it like last week, and then I was supposed to do it yesterday, and then I was supposed to do it today, and it won't get done until tomorrow. I have to call the dentist. I had some work done. I have some work that I need to get done. And here's the thing. There are not a lot of things that legitimately scare me, but the dentist is one of them.
Really?
I really do not like going to the dentist.
I know you don't like it, but I didn't know you I didn't know you feared.
I get some anxiety before I have to go. And I have some anxiety while I'm sitting in the chair. And even when I got filling. And they're doing the drill thing, and even though it doesn't hurt,
you know it's happening.
I'm anxious. I have a little bit of anxiety about it. And I know there are a lot of people out there that are very, very scared of the dentist. I know there are a lot of people like, oh, that's ridiculous. Why would you ever be scared of that? But I thought, in light of that revelation, we talk a little about our fears. What are some things you're afraid of? Like, what are some things that you fear?
I've always been afraid of tornadoes, which is irrational for a couple reasons. Main reason why we don't get tornadoes here.
Yeah.
We get tornado sirens all the time where they think there's going to be a tornado.
We did have a tornado a couple years ago.
We had
a very small one.
But nothing significant. No one's died. It's so hard for them to touch down because the air currents here, because we have hills, lots of hills.
It did trash some.
It touched down and then lifted right back up.
But it did trash right by the mall. Right by our mall, there was there's some storage units.
And there's some storage units.
It ripped up some of those storage units. And if there's a picture of that, we'll place it here.
There's not. It happened at night.
No. I'm thinking the next day. Because you can drive by. Pictures of pictures of the storage units.
Anyway. The tornado. I'm like, no one saw it. They looked at where the damage was and where everything landed, and they're like, there was definitely a tornado here.
Right. So, so tornadoes.
Tornadoes, and I blame that on you. Because you made me watch Twister when we were like 4. And that scarred me.
I do remember you being younger, like in your 5 or 6 or so, and being really anxious about
tornadoes.
Storms.
I'd take not really storms, just tornadoes.
No, when the storms were starting getting fierce, you kind of get anxious.
And I'd go down, and when the tornadoes started going up, I'd take all my favorite things, my toys and stuff, and take them downstairs and lay on top of them. So, I don't have a fear of aliens. But I cannot watch the movie War of the Worlds with Tom Cruise.
Okay, why?
Because I watched as a kid, and I still can't to this day get through that movie without being like really uncomfortable. It's just because that movie scared the shit out of me as a kid, and I just can't handle it anymore, I guess. That's a weird one because I'm not afraid of aliens, but
I'm not a big fan of horror movies in general, and it's not necessarily the horror part of it. Because I do like psychological thrillers.
Yeah.
I like a lot of older horror films or older psychological. I like a lot of Hitchcock. I like Alfred Hitchcock films. I like a lot of old Vincent Price movies. A lot of Lon Chaney. Those kind of older films. But having said that, I'm not a big fan of horror films, and I'll tell you, really, it comes down to, I don't understand. I don't get any pleasure from being scared. Like people say, oh, that's the thing I like. I like the jump scares. I love the thrill of it. That doesn't do it for me. That doesn't bring any joy to me. The other thing is that we live in a world that I think is very, very dark. I think there's a lot of evil in this world. And you can only look at, there was a bombing today, which, by the way, there was a bombing this morning. As of this filming, we filmed this on
Monday the 31st.
No, this is today's.
On Wednesday the 31st.
Today's Wednesday the 31st.
We usually film this on a Monday.
There was a bombing in Kabul. It killed 80 people. It injured over 400. From the TIS family, we are thinking about you. We are praying for you. If you live in that area or if you're affected by that, we are praying for you. But there's a lot of darkness and there's a lot of evil in this world. And I guess I just feel like the world is already scary enough. I don't need that to scare me. I'm already scared. So,
yeah.
I'll tell you something I do fear. Is I am scared of. When I was in the 4th grade, our teacher told us a story about her grandfather had wireframe glasses and he got in a car accident and the wireframe bent and went in his eye. And ever since I heard that story in the 4th grade, there's a part of me that is I'm really afraid of things going in my eye. Not just my glasses, but just things, stuff, sharp objects going in my eye. It's not even the thought of it happening. It's the thought of it. The thought of it happening. I guess it freaks me out a little bit. It's like, ugh, Well, I really hope that never happens to me.
I'd say it's similar when people say, I mean, you actually do have a fear of something going in your eye. You're saying it's a fear of something. You're saying it's not directly, but I think it's the same with a lot of people. I always say I'm not afraid of heights. I'm afraid of falling. But I think that's generally what the fear of heights is. You know what I mean? But it's not true at the same time because I don't feel uncomfortable when I go up on high things. When I went up on the Rockefeller Tower in New York. That's really high up, I was looking. You can look down. I didn't have a problem with it because I knew that there was no way that I was going to be going off.
Right.
But if there's if it's shaky, there's just a railing that you can fall. I had much more problem with that. Going up in the light tower, in the lighthouse in Corolla, North Carolina, in the Outer Banks. That is just a railing. And you're several hundred feet off the ground, and there's wind blowing everywhere.
Right.
I stood kind of against the wall and kind of scoot around it, So, yeah, I think a lot of people would say the same thing about various kinds of fears too. I'm not afraid of I'm not afraid of heights. I'm afraid of falling. I'm not afraid of airplanes. I'm afraid of airplanes crashing or airplanes getting hijacked.
Right.
So,
well, I don't judge people for their anxieties. It's just there are certain things that people that get anxious about that is just like spiders. Spiders don't freak me out. They don't scare me. Now, having said that, I've been freaked out by spiders. I don't have a general fear of spiders, but I remember I was sitting in the living room in this house, and a big old spider fell off the ceiling and landed on my head, and I was like, ah! I was like.
Can you make that sound again?
Yeah, no. I legit, I was, I freaked out. So I've had,
See,
if it surprises me, of course it's gonna freak me out like anybody else.
I don't have a problem with spiders, but I do have a problem with not knowing what the spider is. You can look at a spider and be like, oh, that's a common house spider, that's a wolf spider, that's blah blah blah. But a few years ago, I was in the emergency room. I can't remember why I was there. I might have been with somebody else. I can't remember at all. I remember there's a woman sitting, it was late at night, so there's not that many people there, but there was a woman that was 4 chairs over and across from me, and she was sitting there, and her leg was so messed up, I didn't know what it was, until I heard her talking to somebody. She said that she got bit by a spider, and she thought it was a brown recluse. You making her wait in the emergency room? But then she said something along the lines of it happened. They might have given me treatment and all that for it, but the treatment's not working as much as I thought it would, or something like that. I couldn't remember why she was there. So yeah, I don't have a problem with spiders. I don't have a problem with snakes. I always find snakes to be a pretty irrational fear because as a kid, when we came to Tar Hollow a lot, we were doing the junior naturalism program, and they always everyone says, oh, snakes are slimy. That's the term that people always use, but they're not at all. I've never held a snake that was slimy in the least. You can look at it and see it's not slimy. Especially where we live, we don't have a lot of bad snakes around here. We have two kinds of poisonous snakes that live in this area. One's a timber rattlesnake, and one's a copperhead. Most of the time when people think they see copperheads, they're milk snakes.
I saw a garter snake over the weekend, and I haven't seen one of those in a long time.
I saw one about a month ago down on the cross-country trail by the high school.
I haven't seen a turtle in a long time either.
They're not that much in town,
Well, but I do a lot of hiking stuff. I just haven't seen a turtle in a long time. So back on track.
Yeah.
Is there any one incident that really got your adrenaline going? Is there any time that you were
walking upstairs? I don't know. Okay, I do believe in ghosts. And I watch a lot of ghost shows, and there's some that I know are bullpucky, and there's some that are actually, I think, legit. But, talking about shows. And we did have the incidents at the house, I think we talked about before on the show, when I was a little kid, where we had somebody walking up the stairs.
Mm-hmm.
But there was something in the show, Ghost Hunters, the Taps people, where they had I think it was a pro wrestler on there for one of their Halloween specials, and they're at one of the big penitentiaries, and he said, "Oh, I'm not scared of nothing now," blah blah blah. And then at one point, and you could see it in the video where you could see something touch him or something like that. I can't remember exactly. It was a while back that I saw it, but he goes, ah! He just goes sprinting because he thinks someone tapped him on the shoulder. He turns around, there's no one there, and then he goes, ah! And he runs down the hallway screaming with his hands like this, and they go get him, and okay, he's like, here's the thing, in the wrestling ring, I can wrestle somebody, I can see what they're doing, I can see a chair coming at me, anything like that. I couldn't see what touched me, and I don't have a fear of ghosts so much as you use the word anxiety about. I get a little anxious when I think that there's possibly something
supernatural.
It's entirely based in the idea that I can't see it. I don't like the idea that there could be something.
I'll tell you something that really sets me off is being held down.
Yeah.
When I can't move, and I know that's kind of the idea behind night terror,
sleep apnea. Sleep apnea. Sleep
paralysis.
Sleep paralysis, which I've had before, and that is terrifying. I've had it many times.
The being held down, if I'm wrestling or if I'm fighting and I get pinned and I can't move, that sets me off. It partly scares me, and it partly makes me furious. Mm-hmm. Probably furious because I'm scared.
And you're out of control. I've
been in a few situations. The scariest things that I've experienced have always been with people.
Mm-hmm.
And I've had a few incidents over the years where, I've been mugged once. The scariest things that have happened to me have been not with supernatural. It's not been with creatures or predators. It's been with people.
People are scary. They're the most terrifying things on the planet.
When I worked at the hospital, the top floor of the hospital is the psychiatric unit,
mm-hmm.
and we had to deliver snacks up there. And one day I was my turn to deliver snacks up there, so I went up to deliver snacks. And I walk into the snack cart to go into their kitchen to drop off food, and there was a patient in there, and he had a wild look in his eyes. He was hunched over, mm-hmm. and he was making really scary noises.
I should be laughing.
It's not funny, but
it's terrifying.
It was really scary then.
It's unnerving.
It's not funny because he has a legitimate mental health issue, but it's also kind of funny because this was something I had to deal with. It's a funny story to tell. And he was making demonic noises,
Can you do those again?
Can you scream again?
Actually,
you did that wrestler. No, you did the wrestler.
I was not loud though.
He was making these demonic noises. Now here's the thing. I fight.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a martial artist. I fight. I fight heavyweight. I punch around big dudes.
Mm-hmm.
This guy legitimately scared me because like this guy could legitimately eat my face. And so like the whole time I was like kind of keeping an eye on him, but trying not to make eye contact, but also trying to keep the food cart between him and I. I was like, if I can keep the cart between us, and so I kind of like circled around him, you know, and trying to keep the cart between us.
In case he like ran up the wall suddenly.
Yeah, he just starts crawling the wall, and then his like head like completely spins backwards. I'm just like, oh, I'm done.
That commercial
I would have quit. I would have been like, I'm done.
I'm out.
I'm peace.
If you make it out alive.
Well, so you know, I delivered the snacks, keeping an eye on him, keeping the car between us, and I got out of there. Another time, they actually had a code violet, which is a violent patient, and when that happens, the psych ward gets locked down, and there's two doors. There's two sets of doors. There's a set of doors that you can just go, that you can get buzzed in, and a second set of doors you get buzzed in, right? During that code violet, I got stuck between the two doors, and so that was that. That's it for now. Here's a quick commercial and something to look forward to next week.
I'm just going to go for it. Ready?
Right.
Oh, I was going to say cheers.
Oh. Too late. Hey guys, we'll let you know, Wednesday, the 7th of May, we will be live streaming from 6 to 7 p.m.
6 to 7 on YouTube.
So again, we'll talk about whatever we want to talk about and whatever you guys want to talk about. So make sure to be there, comment, let us know what you want us to talk about, and there's that. What day was it again?
It's Wednesday the 7th from 6 to 7 p.m. Eastern Time.
And you know, we'll be on there, and you know, it ends at 7, but you know, as long as there's people watching, we'll be on. So there's that. Join us then. All right, and so we're back. Now, we didn't mention this on a show, but you actually left the donut shop. You left Tim Hortons.
I mentioned it on the live stream.
Yes.
And I did say, I was like, oh, this will be the only time I mention it, but I'm like, you know, not everybody's going to watch the live stream, so I am going to mention it again. I did leave Tim Hortons already.
And you went back to, because you got a job offer from Kroger.
Yeah, I left the job. And they're like, hey, we want you back. I'm like, yay, I guess I'll come back there.
So we've already talked about getting jobs. And we talked about interviews and all that. So I thought, well, we're not going to talk about that. But since Kroger is a grocery store, I thought we'd talk about grocery shopping. It's something everybody has to do.
And just real fast, Kroger is a grocery store that is a chain that is present here in Ohio and all over the Northeast. But it does have multiple other companies. Fry's, some people might have Fry's where they're
Are you their like PR manager?
I am.
Like,
no,
by the way,
I'm just saying though.
Kroger has 1,300 stores across the eastern seaboard.
Every single person knows what Walmart is because Walmart is everywhere, but Kroger is not everywhere. It is a full-size grocery store, especially in your area. If you have a Fry's, it's the same thing. I'm trying to think if they own some other companies.
Gold
like
Line, don't they?
I think they
down
own Gold
south.
Line down south.
But tell us about grocery shopping.
Tell you about grocery shopping. I did some grocery shopping today. Not really, actually. I bought some salads because I did some of my video orientation stuff today that I have to do again, and it kind of sucks, but I was really hungry, so I bought some salads. But speaking of salads, these are not homemade by us, but we did make some homemade salads last week. Earlier this week, I'm sorry. There's a video that we put out about salads. You should go check it out. It's pretty good.
That'll be the last.
They were pretty good.
Yeah.
That'll be the last of this is for this month, obviously. So
next month.
I usually mean like last month, the most previous. I think you meant the last of this month. I'm like, yeah, it is because it's the end of the month. But yes, I did pick up these at Kroger. Grocery shopping. I have an interesting way. I was doing for a while when I was in my apartment. I was doing a lot more grocery shopping. I was actually surviving off my grocery shopping. I had a way of doing it that was a little
unorthodox.
No, actually, it was more orthodox than most people do it, I would think. But it's also unorthodox because nobody else does it this way. I would write down my list of groceries, and then I'd make I had a small map that I used every time, because I knew where everything is at the store, because I used to work night stock. I ended up shopping there for the last, 21 years of my life. I mean, I wasn't shopping when I was one, but, like, you get the point. I've been going to that same store forever. It hasn't changed too much. So I had a little map that I drew with the aisle numbers, and then I just placed dots about where everything was, so I could put everything on the list in order, so I could walk through the store like this, go through the aisles, and then back around and just leave. I didn't have to work. I had everything in a complete order, so I didn't have to do the thing that a lot of people do, where you go in, you get one thing, you cross the entire store, get something else, then cross the store again, go halfway through, go through an aisle, go back out to the meat department, cross the store. I don't like doing that. I wanted to go straight through, and I just thought it'd be easier, instead of having to look through my list for all the vegetables in the produce department, just get everything from the produce department while I was there, and then from the first aisle, the second aisle, the third aisle, fourth aisle. So I haven't done that in a long time, mostly because I've gotten so good at doing it without the map.
You know, when Shell and I are organized, we get through the store very, very fast. And usually when I organize, what we do is we write the list. We write what we're gonna have for dinner, lunch, all that for the next week or whatever.
Break it down. And
then I break it down, like what the ingredients in each. And if I'm feeling super ambitious, I'll do it by kind of like segments, so like vegetables, dairies. Yeah. If I'm feeling super ambitious. But if we have a list, we do very well. We don't spend a lot of money. And we get through it quick.
Yeah.
If Sean and I just go in blind, and it always bites us in the ass when we go in blind, because we always spend too much money, because we end up grabbing things we don't really need. Like, oh, cheeses are 2 for $5. Well, we're not going to use cheeses this next week. I mean, we will.
You'll use them because you have them, but
we wouldn't have specifically gotten Cheez-Its, whatever. And we always take way too much time in the store.
Yeah.
And we end up doing a lot of backtracking. And so what would have been, an hour trip ends up being almost 2.5 hours. Especially if you go into Sean, you shop at Meijer, where there's, it's a big store. It's got a lot of space. So, when Sean and I when we don't organize, when we don't plan for it, when we just go in blind, we always spend way, way too much money, and we always spend way too much time in the store. Now, do you try to do just Kroger because you work there, or do you try to bounce around?
But the thing is, I don't drive right now. I do a lot of walking, and Kroger is a 3-minute walk from my house, and I'm not doing a lot of major grocery shopping. I like to shop at Aldi, but it's all the way across town. So, I know you guys cross town to go to Meijer, but you guys do a lot bigger shopping. So, Kroger just generally has everything I need anyways. Since I'm an employee there again, especially I get the 10% discount on Kroger products. So, plus 5% off the whole order because Dad works at the hospital. So, that's super nice. So, yeah, with my card linked to Mom and Dad. I didn't even do that automatic. It just started like that. I didn't set that up. It was just started like that. My card was connected to Mom and Dad's for some reason. I think it was just my phone number from when I was younger. Got my first card when I had a cell phone in the 5th grade.
I had an interesting experience not long ago. I was at Aldi, and one of our neighbors, I'll say that, somebody lives around us. Somebody lives in our neighborhood.
Is it over there?
No, neighborhood.
Oh, okay.
We got in line and they got in line. We were even up with each other, right? Right. It wasn't like we were way ahead or we were way behind. We were even flat with each other, right?
Yeah.
And so our neighbor, or this person from our neighborhood, asked the lady that's ahead of us, who doesn't have a lot of stuff. She's like, "Do you want to get in line in front of me?" And the lady was like, "Oh yeah, sure." And so she gets in line. It was like, we actually ended up getting out of there before the lady, so she would have gotten out well before if she had stayed in our line. And I was like, are you trying to compete with us, or are you just trying to show how nice you are? Or, I mean, I understand, I would have understood if, we were, our line was way far back. We were, there was 2 or 3, 4 people ahead of us, and they were like, you want to get ahead of us? That's common courtesy, and you should do that. People, if somebody gets behind you, and they don't have a lot, they have maybe even a handful or whatever, they have, 5 or less items, let them ahead. Common courtesy, a little respect goes a long way. Anyway, I digress. But I was just like, one, she was already ahead of us. We got behind her. You know.
Yeah.
And then this neighborhood person was like, you know, oh, you want to get help? I was like, but why? Well, I guess like that, it was such a confusing moment. I was trying to question like her motives.
Mm-hmm.
Like, why did you do that? Like, were you trying to prove that you were good people?
See,
like, why would you do that? That made no sense whatsoever.
The difficulties I have when shopping are with people, not with finding stuff or prices or stuff like that. And it's not actually having problems with people. It's because, again, I shop at Kroger, so I know everybody that works there. So I end up talking to like 20 different people that work there while I'm going through. But then through my many different outlets over the years, I've met a lot of people that live in Lancaster, so I'm always bound to run into at least 4 different people when I go to the grocery store that I know. And they always want to talk, catch up, say hi. So it's kind of it's not something like you should complain about, because like, you know, it's good to know people and to, you know, talk to people and stuff, but be social. But sometimes I'll go and I'll be getting like a single salad that's this big, and I'll end up spending 45 minutes in the store. I'm no joke at all, because people just want to talk. And
don't you hate when you go into an aisle and there's people who are catching up, but they take up the whole aisle, and then you kind of walk up on awkwardly behind me. You're hoping they'll have the courtesy
to stand over,
to be like, oh, do you need through here, please, you know, or just move.
Mm-hmm.
But instead, they continue to chat and they continue to take up the aisle. You're just like, can I, may I, you know?
Yeah.
Hey, second PSA. If you're catching up some of the aisle, move to one side.
Yeah.
I can't stand that. I'm like, oh, how rude do you have to be?
Mm-hmm.
I'll move.
I've gotten into the thing where I'll go to an end of an aisle and I'll see how many people are there. Like, nope. I'll just go around. And
I've
like,
done that.
You know,
like, I'll come back to the aisle.
Especially because Kroger, especially the one over here, is so popular. The one on the other side of town's not. But
do you get a lot of people, like a lot like short ladies or little old ladies that are like, can you get that thing up top?
Not really. I mean, they'll do it for grocery because they're not looking to get stuff. The thing is, where I work at Kroger, we don't have a lot of up high stuff. The only up high stuff's in the
I've gotten stuff for people off the top shelf at Kroger.
I'm talking about specifically in the deli. There's not a lot of up high stuff. The only up high stuff.
I'm talking about like when you go shopping.
Oh yeah, I do that sometimes. I mean, it's not as, you know.
It seems like it happens
it's not a
to me.
big deal, I guess.
It seems to happen to me about every other shopping trip. I don't know why. I know that it looks like maybe I'm just a nice guy, and they're like, oh, I'm going to single out the nice guy.
Well, see,
and ask him.
I look in the aisle and I see if there's a little old lady that passed by. I'm kidding.
Like, nope.
Nope.
She doesn't want me to get stuff for her.
No, I don't have a problem with that. I think when I'm working, though, I sometimes do, but it's... Because I work at, as I said, this is specifically when I'm working and I'm working in the deli, I'm not getting a lot of stuff off of high shelves because there's not that much high stuff around me. The only high stuff is in Nature's Market, which is across from the deli.
It's the organic section.
The organic section. And there's not a lot of older little ladies that are looking to shop there. In fact, it's usually it's kids who don't care about having to reach really high, or it's some trendy middle-aged lady.
Right.
Who's like, oh, I need to get my popcorn, you know, the one that they always need is that, what's it called? Something pop. It's like organic popcorn chip thing. Whatever. It's an organic / healthy popcorn that comes in a bag, like a chip bag.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and it's way up. It's up on the top, and I always get these ladies that come up and like, hey, can you get that for me? I'm like, okay. And so I'm like, because usually it's empty too, so it's pushing the back, and you have to get the one from the back. So
it kind of looks like we're running out of time, and before we sign out here, what are some things you fear? Put them down below. You know, are you afraid of spiders? Are you afraid of like generic things? Are you afraid of something more specific? Also, do you like shopping? Do you hate shopping? What are some of your favorite shopping stories? Comment below. We want to hear them. We love reading stories. We love chatting with you guys.
So until next time, I'm Eli.
I'm Joshua,
and
this is Something. We hope you liked today's video. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and leave a comment because we enjoy chatting with you.
Also, check us out on Instagram and Facebook at This Is Something. All the links are below. Thanks, and have a beautiful day.